is part 2 of my eyeshadow palette declutter. If you hear some like humming in the background, it's just my fan or the heater. It's freezing in here. Okay, so picking up with both of these Hindash face and eye palettes. So I'm gonna be honest, I should have never bought these. When I first saw, let's go with the original one. So this is the original one. They're all matte pigments, and you can use them on the eye, your face, so eyeshadow, blush, contour. I saw this and I was not drawn to it, okay? But Danessa Myricks loves this, okay? And I was like, if Danessa loves it, I should love it, because that's just my bias, putting that out there. But still didn't get it. However, when I saw this palette come out, I was like, ooh, this is a color story I could see myself using. And so I wanted to compare both of them. I ended up never doing the comparison video. I don't think I did. Use these, and these are okay. I shouldn't have bought them though, because I did not gravitate to them. However, I want to try to show them some love, so I'm going to keep both of them. But these might be shadows that, or pigments that I might declutter throughout the year if I find that I really am not reaching for them, because I don't know, okay? I don't know. Okay, let's get into Natasha, because we got a lot of her to go through. So the Retro Glam palette is this one. Although this is definitely not my favorite Natasha palette in terms of color story, I do like the color story. The formula is amazing, so I am going to keep this one. This is her newest palette. Then we have the Glam palette. I mean, this is a classic. Absolutely do love this one. Formulation is amazing as well, so keeping that. We have her pastel palette. So this one I really do like. I actually like this one a lot more than I thought I would. Formulation is also really amazing, so definitely going to keep this one. This is great for the springtime. Retro palette. Yes, retro palette. This one I like, but I did not like it as much as I thought I would in terms of color story. Nothing wrong with formula, but I thought I would reach for this more, and I really don't. Like, and I love me some like pinky based eyeshadow palettes. All of these Lorac palettes I love. So I bought the Fairy Tale Forest palette last year. Really enjoyed this color story, so I'm definitely keeping it. And then after that, I wanted to purchase some more. So this one is the Noir one, and I do like this color story. I like that it's a little more cool. It's neutral versus like really a true cool, but I like this neutral color story, so I'm gonna keep this one. And then I have Soleil. Soleil I'm gonna declutter. I'm looking at it and I have this color story over and over and over again, so I do think someone else can get a lot more love out of this one, so decluttering this one. All right, first declutter. Okay, Mother Pat's Bridgerton palette. I love this one. This one is not going anywhere. And then Bella Shani Plush eyeshadow palette. So I was sent this one, and I don't think I've even used it. Nope, I have not used it yet. So, oh, this color story is really pretty. I'm gonna hold on to this one because I haven't used it, and I really do like this color story. So I'm gonna keep this. Then we have this one. This is by Kaleidos. Is it Kaleidos or Kaleidos? I think it's Kaleidos. And this is the Club Nebula eyeshadow palette. I have heard nothing but amazing things about it, but I have yet to use it. I'm looking at it, trying to decide if I should keep it or declutter. What do y'all think? I think I might want to keep it. If you have this one, leave me your thoughts down below. And I've got a couple of Pat McGrath 6-pan eyeshadow palettes. So this one is Mothership Sublime Bronze Ambition. And oh, this is such a classic. Oh my gosh, I have to keep it. Have to keep it. This might have been my first Pat McGrath palette that I bought myself. And oh no, this was my first one. This came out holiday. Well, I don't remember what holiday this came out in, but this was a holiday release. You could kind of tell it looks more holiday-ish. And yeah, this shade right here. Like, these two shades are my favorite. Oh, I'm not ready to part with it. So I'm not. We're gonna keep it. This is Rose Decadence. I'm gonna declutter this one. This was another one that I just saw and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna love it. Use it all the time. I barely have used this one, so I will declutter this one. This is probably like the only Pat McGrath palette I will declutter. Okay, more Natasha. So we have both of her Glam Face palettes. So this is the lighter version, which I'm definitely going to keep. I actually like the lighter version better than the deeper version, just because I like more of the tones in the lighter version, but keeping both because, I mean, they're still really beautiful. These are so amazing. We have, bronze palette. I wore this palette out in 2020, summer of 2020, honey. If I had an eye look, it was probably this eyeshadow palette, so most definitely keeping it. Then we have the Love palette, and I love her. It took me a minute. It had to grow on me, but I really do like this one. Keeping it. Zendo, let me tell y'all, when I tell y'all I could care two you know what's about this one, Zendo does not speak to me, call to me. Zendo does nothing for me at all. Zendo literally does nothing for me. But for review purposes, I'm keeping Zendo. But that's it. It's not even like the formula's bad. It just doesn't speak to me. It just doesn't. Sunrise, I really enjoy Sunrise, so I will keep Sunrise. And then we get into some of her larger palettes. So we have Metropolis. I was so shocked to find that Metropolis is not available as much as I thought it would be. At one point I thought it was discontinued, but I think it's still available on her website. I do like Metropolis, so keeping her. Oh, Sunset. This is the palette that introduced me to Natasha Denona. I remember when everybody was loving this one. What was it? 2017 was when everyone loved this, 16 or 17. So must definitely have to keep it. And then Leela, another one that I was like, look at her. Love, love, love Leela. My most favorite Natasha palette. Look at the gold one. Look at how much love she has got. And I will continue to use her until the mold grows because gold is so amazing. Is it true that she has discontinued gold? Because if she did that, I don't know why. That's, in my opinion, one of her best palettes. Okay, this is the Trio Chrome palette. I really like the Trio Chrome palette. I don't use it nearly as much as I should, but this also screams spring to me, so that's when I typically do reach for it. So keeping Trio Chrome. And then we have Circo Loco. Oh, look at the bright colors of this one. Keeping her. And then lastly, in terms of this size of Natasha palettes, we have the Tropic palette. Formula is definitely just, you know, okay, but I love the color story, so I'm gonna keep it. And then we get into her large eyeshadow palette. So this is the Green Brown palette, the 28 pan palette, and oh, so beautiful. And formula is amazing. And then we have the Blue Purple palette right here, which I have yet to use. I was gifted this one and I have yet to use it. So I really want to use it this holiday season because this shade is calling to me. The silver is calling to me. So I'm definitely going to pull this out before the year is out to get me a cute little pretty look with this palette. And you can still get them on Beautylish. And while we're talking about Natasha's, let me just finish up Natasha real quick. A couple more by Natasha. So we have the Mini Bronze palette right here. I think this one is really beautiful. Really beautiful. Highly recommend it. Love the formula as well. And for me, I'm shocked that I would say that because there's only one shimmer. And I typically like a palette that has a good even mixture of shimmers and matte shades. But the matte shades are really beautiful. So keeping this one. And then, oh, the Star palette. I wanted this palette for so long. And so I was so happy to get it this year. I think it's so beautiful. Love the formula as well. I really like this packaging of her palettes. Like this kind of, it's like what, faux leatherish type of packaging. I wish she would bring it back. I mean, I like the durability of the plastic packaging, but I like this feeling of these palettes. So these are the last of my Natasha palettes, I think. So that's why I was like, let me get these. I keep them in another drawer, but let's just, you know, finalize Natasha. Then Then we get back here. Oh, this is a primer. Let me put that back. So we get into this face palette by Florasis, and this is stunning. This is really, really beautiful. So I'm gonna keep this one. I have these 3 palettes by Pixie. They sent them to me. I've never used them. So it's an eyeshadow palette that they collaborated with Tina Young. Then we have a sculpting palette by Promise. And then this is a lip and cheek palette by Louise Rowe. So I'm definitely going to gift these to other people because I heard that they were really great palettes. I just never had the time to play with them. Then we get into some Char Girl. Okay, so y'all remember the Charlotte Tilbury Icon palette? Do y'all remember this? This was one of my first, no, this was my first Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette. I love her. I still reach for her. This is another one of those where I'm like, till the mold grows, we're keeping you. So most definitely keeping her. And this is the Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize palette. I love all of these palettes. I think the formulation in these are really beautiful. And I would say that the formula, depending on which one you get really good pigmentation with the mattes and the shimmers, and sometimes she'll throw a metallic in here. But these palettes, I mean, all of Charlotte Tilbury's palettes, eyeshadow palettes, are great for a person who wants and likes to do more simple looks, but they do want to jazz it up here and there. But you know, they're not trying to do the most complex looks, but they just want something that's going to make their eyes pop and be beautiful. I think Charlotte does that type of eyeshadow palette and formula amazingly. So all of these I'm going to keep. This one is the Instant Eye palette, the Pillow Talk version. I mean, if you love pink eyeshadows, ma'am, sir, everybody, this is one that you would enjoy. Oh, and then here's the Smoky Eyes Are Forever. This was another beautiful one. And interestingly, she did not come out with one of these this holiday. I would have definitely bought it. And then we have a Patrick Ta palette. This is his original Major Dimensions eyeshadow palette. I truly loved this one. I still really enjoy it. I laughed because one of you all was like, this is the most boring looking palette ever. And it probably is, but I really do love the formula. But the better one of these, let me go ahead and get it for you. The Major Dimensions 2 palette. Now she is one to talk about. If I had to choose between the two, I would definitely choose this one. I think the formula in this one is better. I love the tones and the formulation of these more metallic shades. The cream shades are not my favorite. I really only reach for those for review purposes, but when I use these palettes, like just in doing my own looks, this is the part of the palette that I use. I don't really touch the creams. But I really enjoy this one. Keeping both of the Patrick Ta palettes because I do enjoy them. We have the Lion King eyeshadow palette. This was a collaboration by the celebrity makeup artist Sir John and then the brand called Luminous. And I love this eyeshadow palette. Like, it's just, formula is still really good. I love the tones in it. It's a beautiful, neutral, warm palette. Still love it. Definitely keeping it. Oh, here's another one of those Pixie collaborations. This is a highlighter palette, and this was a collaboration with Denise. So gonna give this away too. Pat McGrath. Oh, Celestial. Which one was it? Celestial Divinity. Celestial Divinity is beautiful. She really is. I'm gonna keep her only for review purposes. I could definitely declutter this one. I really could, but for review purposes, we'll keep her. Oh, we get into some ABH. Okay, Jackie Aina ABH collaboration. Oh my gosh. One of the best palettes, in my opinion, that has ever been created. And yes, I said it out loud. Not trying to kiss up to nobody. Jackie does not know who I am, and neither does ABH. This formulation, the color story, everything about this eyeshadow palette screams perfection. And I am gonna keep this one until it molds over. This was and is still one of my most favorite palettes. Like, oh, amazing. Soft Glam. Let me tell you about Soft Glam. I keep Soft Glam because everybody loves Soft Glam. I feel like I need to love it just like everybody else does. Now, let me explain myself. Formula, amazing. Color story, amazing. But when I look at this palette, I just think it's boring. But it's the most, if I could say, like user-friendly type of color story. And also the formula is really amazing. So, I mean, obviously I've used it. I like it. It's just not one of those palettes that I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, you have got to get you the Soft Glam palette. But I'm gonna keep it because it is a great palette. And then we have these three in collaboration with Sydney Grace and Talia. And I don't think I really had a chance to use these. I did, okay, so I used a couple of them, but I didn't use all of them. So this one is called On the Horizon, and this next one is called Radiant Reflection. I like the what am I trying to say? The story behind the palettes and the color stories. And the artwork is just really beautiful on these palettes. And then we have Quintessence. So I'm gonna declutter Radiant Reflection, and I'll also declutter Quintessence. Both of these color stories, although they're beautiful, they're not ones that really call to me. And I will keep On the Horizon because I really do I like this color story. It's a little cooler. I don't have as many cooler neutral toned eyeshadow palettes as I do warmer toned ones. So I'll keep this one. And lastly, we have the ABH, which palette was this one? Primrose palette. This came out this year. And I'm gonna declutter this one. I liked this one and I did use it a good bit of times, but this was one of those I didn't need to get it, and I didn't think you all were really interested in it. Well, based on my review, you all didn't seem too interested in it, so it's nice, but it definitely wasn't a need. Okay, so let's go on to my last area where I keep my eyeshadow palettes and wrap this up. Alrighty, Pat McGrath, Celestial Odyssey. Still a palette that I enjoy using. This came out holiday of last year. I love this one, so definitely keeping her. And then we have the Sydney Grace and the Fancy Face collaboration, which is the Tropic color one. And this palette is beautiful. I can't wait to use this one in the summertime and springtime because these colors just scream like summer, fun, vacation, all of the above. We have these two by Artist Couture. So the Supreme Nudes is still a great one. Still a great one. It's amazing for someone who wants a really solid, warm-toned, neutral eyeshadow palette. Like, you can't go wrong with this color story. Keeping that. Now, the Supreme Mauves was such a disappointment in terms of formula. Color story is a surefire win for me, but this formula is not where it's at for me. I'm gonna keep it because I found a way to make it work for me. But I wouldn't recommend this palette, formula-wise. Danessa Myricks, the Experience Lightworks 3 palette, most definitely keeping this. I love this one because this is what I travel with when I want to bring the Lightworks 3 palette, but I want something more compact. So definitely keeping it. Then we have the ABH. This is the Nouveau palette. I did not need to buy this one. Beautiful palette. I really like the color story as well, but this is one I really could have just left at the store. Like, I didn't need this. I'm gonna keep it though, but I really didn't need it. Both of Pat McGrath, these are a part of her Celestial Nirvana collection. So I'm gonna keep Bronze Bliss. I like this color story, but I'm gonna declutter this one, Nude Allure. Doesn't speak to me. Great formula, beautiful colors, but I can definitely part ways with this. But I gotta really do my review on eyeshadow palette, so I'm gonna keep it for the review and then I'll give it away when I'm done. We have the Vanity Makeup eyeshadow palette. If you watched my video where I talked about products I regret purchasing, this is definitely one of them because I think I've used it one time. So I'm gonna get rid of this eyeshadow palette. Oh, I forgot about this Natasha palette. Oh, I've got a few more Natasha palettes. Okay, my dream palette, amazing, stunner. One of the best eyeshadow palettes that I think came out this year, personally. So I was definitely keeping this one. And then Biba, I love Biba. I got it broken, yeah. Love Biba. You can always tell the eyeshadow palettes I really love because at least one of the shadows is broken because I reach for it so much and I have a greater chance of dropping them. So Biba is where it's at. If you don't mind spending the coin on the palette, this palette is worth every penny in my opinion. Love it. Tarte Man Eater. Definitely want to show this one more love because, I mean, look at it. She's amazing in terms of color story. These metallic shimmers right here are so beautiful. I love these shades right here as well. Match are great, so definitely want to get some more use out of this. The original Lightworks 3 palette by Danessa. Another one of them that's got to get moldy before me to stop using it. Beat the mess out of this last year and still use a lot of it this year. While we're talking about Danessa, let's get Lightworks 4. I mean, going nowhere. Love this one. I've already talked enough about this one, so we're just gonna keep it moving. I've got some Chanel eyeshadows right here. So this is the Mediterranean palette. I really love this one a lot. And then this is one that I do need to use because I think I've only used it like once or twice. This is called the Healthy Glow Natural Eyeshadow Palette. This is the Intense one. I love the color story. I just don't like the layout, so I don't really reach for it much, but I am gonna use it more because it's a pretty eyeshadow palette. So we have Fire Rose by Charlotte Tilbury, one of my favorite Char Girl palettes, keeping her. And then we have Pillow Talk Dream. This is really beautiful. Beautiful for like a subtle eye look, but these two eyeshadows pop. So like your eyeshadow look could definitely go not so subtle depending on how you use these, but beautiful palette nonetheless. We've got a Wayne Goss palette here. This one is called the Smoky Quartz. I love this color story and formula is amazing, so keeping that. And I didn't mention it, but the eyeshadow palettes in this drawer are ones that in theory I want to reach for more, so that's why they're in here. So let me just get that out of the way. Pearl palette by Wayne Goss is my favorite Wayne Goss palette. I love everything about it. And I want to say this one might be discontinued. Check Beautylicious website because he might have brought it back, but my most favorite Wayne Goss eyeshadow palette. Then we've got two Tweed palettes by Chanel, and I enjoy both of them, so keeping both. This is, I want to say what is this? This is 01. Really nice and pigmented. I would say maybe a little more pigmented than the typical Chanel eyeshadow palette, but really, really good. I would recommend it. And then this is 04, which is probably, my favorite of the two. Because it's just a little different. Nothing that looks special, but I really enjoy how this looks on my eyes. So I think I wore this one on my birthday. I've got some new palettes by Viseart that, I did use these too. So we've got the London Etoile, and very beautiful color story and great pigmentation. So keeping. Then we have the San Francisco palette. I love this color story. It's really, really pretty. I love both of the color stories. So these are really good, really, really good. Easy to work with. I have yet to use the Paris Edit palette, but this is one that I want to reach for and use because it has been one that I've wanted for eons. Never bought it for myself, and I finally was like, I'm gonna get it this year. I requested it from Cameron Cosmetics, so very happy and thankful they sent it to me. So want to use this one soon. And then we have this Jaguar eyeshadow quad from Chantecaille. This is the Black Jaguar Eye Quartet. And here's the thing. These quartets by Chantecaille are beautiful. And the pigmentation and the formula of these are really easy to use and nice. But this particular color story doesn't tickle my fancy. So I am going to declutter it. It definitely wouldn't have been an eyeshadow quartet I would have bought for myself, but having the opportunity for Chantecaille to send it to me, I most definitely will try it and share it. And I would recommend it if you like the color story, if you enjoy Chantecaille's eyeshadow formula, you're gonna love it. But I know I'm not gonna use this one, so I'm gonna declutter it. We have what is this? Oh, Pat McGrath's Artistry palette. This came out this year, and this is beautiful. Definitely not a color story that I'm gonna reach for all the time, but I really enjoy the pops of color in this one. And I felt like this was different for Pat that we don't typically see from her. So definitely gonna keep it. I like Celestial Odyssey more than this one though. That one was just classic. Oh, another palette that I think was one of the best ones that came out this year, Mario's Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette. Ma'am, sir, and everybody. This palette right here, it's the shades right here for me that make the whole palette. I mean, not literally, but literally. It's everything about this palette. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Okay, so we've got some Danessa Myricks Twin Flames. I'm gonna keep all of them, but I'll quickly go through them. So this one is called Olive Bean. Oh, these are beautiful. Liquid type of eyeshadow formula that dries quickly, stays all day. Excuse the ash on my hands. I should probably put some lotion on, but you know what? We're family here, so no judgment. So keeping this one. Then we have Lover. This came in one of her holiday kits that she just came out with. Here's a mini size of Crazy For You. This is stunning. Like, I love to add this on top of my eyes, like in the center of the eyes. Oh, so beautiful. VIP, this is the Twin Flames that came in another one of her holiday kits. And then Showstopper. So Showstopper is the other one that came in the holiday kit. And then Lover is just a regular Twin Flames shade. I've got her Chrome Flake. So we've got Lightning Bolt right here. And then Starburst here. I'm keeping them all. Kiss Me. So pretty. Then we have Pride. Oh, this is a beautiful one. She came out with this year. And Disco. And then lastly, Sparkler. Disco and Sparkler are the two shades that come with her holiday kits that she came out with this year. Okay, I have some liquid eyeshadows by Kosas that I am gonna declutter. I don't use them, and I haven't used them in like over a year. So they were nice. Or did they come out this year? They may have came out early this year because I remember doing an eye look with them. Either way, I haven't used them in a hot minute, so I'm gonna declutter them. And then we have Charlotte Tilbury cream eyeshadows that I don't use anymore. These I really do, and I did enjoy them. I just don't use them. This is Sunset Rose. And this was my favorite, Star Gold. Star Gold is such a beautiful one and done type of shadow. But like I said, I haven't used it in a good bit. Here's another Charlotte Tilbury single, Walk With No Shame. And yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one as well. This is really pretty, but once again, can't even tell you the last time I used it. These are some Wander Beauty eyeshadow trios. So you've got a shimmer on top, and then you have a, oh, they're duos. Yep, duos. So a shimmer and then a cream shade. So the shimmer shades on top are very impactful. The cream shades are just kind of meh to me. So I'm gonna declutter them because I'm not reaching for them. And then Kaja sent me some of their cream products. I think this is actually a lip product. I don't know why it's in here, but this is in the shade called Juicy Watermelon. I've never used it. I'm gonna declutter it. Oh, I've got another Danessa Myricks Twin Flames. This is in the shade called Mystic Fire. So pretty. This is by Lethal Cosmetics. So a liquid eyeshadow by Lethal Cosmetics. I have yet to use this. This is in the shade called Cypher. And I'm looking at it. It looks quite juicy. I don't think it should look like that. Let's see. This might be the formula kind of going old. Is it supposed to be this liquefied? Let me know in the comment section if you have any of their liquid eyeshadows, if it's supposed to be this liquefied. Here's another Kosas liquid eyeshadow I'm gonna declutter. ColourPop eyeshadow single that I'm gonna declutter. This is in the shade called Shining Star. Really pretty, but I'm not gonna use it. And then a Kaja Trio and Mocha Spritz. So Here's the eyeshadow one. So you've got a shimmer here, and then a matte shade, and then another matte shade. So like ideally it's supposed to be a look all in one, but I don't like packaging like this. Like this is not something I'm gonna travel with for an eye look. So decluttering it. I have a Suku single eyeshadow that it's pretty, but I'm gonna declutter because I don't like single eyeshadows. I don't use them. Don't ask me why, I just don't use them. Here is a single eyeshadow from the brand Colored Rain. I'm gonna declutter this one. I've had this one forever. And then we have a liquid eyeshadow by Sydney Grace. And this is in the shade called Spiced Cider. This is the shade right here. It's pretty, but I'm gonna declutter it too because I don't use it. Here's Pat McGrath's Artistry Wand. I do like this one to intensify the look of my eyeshadow, so I am gonna keep this. And then we've got Mario's mixing medium for his metallic shade, so I'll declutter this since I decluttered his eyeshadows. All right, Lisa Eldridge, her new eyeshadow palettes. I really like them. Oh, so this is in the shade called Myth, and I did a full review of them. So I'll encourage you to go look at that video if you'd like to know my thoughts, but I do really like her eyeshadow palette, so keeping both. Here is Sorcery. Sorcery is amazing. Let me just tell you. I love the color story. Another Viseart eyeshadow palette in, what is this, Les Marais? I'm sure I butchered that. And this is really, really pretty. I have yet to use it, so I'm gonna keep this one because I wanna get a chance to use it. Another Pat X Bridgerton. Now this one was definitely not, like I like the first one, color story wise, better than this one, but formula is really great too. Y'all see me in my robe. So cute and comfy. So I like it, but I like the first one better. So I'm gonna keep it because I do like it. I do. Another Kaja product. This is in the shade called Spicy. This is one of the cheek products that I never use. So I'm gonna declutter this. All right, let's get into some Tommy Ford. Alrighty, so we've got Tom Ford African Violet. And this was given to me by a beautiful friend of mine. So I'm gonna keep this one. It's a pretty one too, so not going anywhere. Virgin Orchid is another one. Oh, that's pretty, I'm keeping it. Plus I love this formula. Tiger Eye. Now these are the newer ones that came out this year, yes. I think these came out early this year. I'm not a huge fan of this newer formula. It's not bad, but in my opinion, the wet dry formula is much better. I'm gonna keep it though, but I don't prefer it. Honeymoon is another favorite of mine. First Frost, this is pretty. Formula is impeccable, definitely keeping it. Mercurial is another favorite. Oh, very similar to Honeymoon, but just a little different. Love it. And then my most favorite Tom Ford Quad. If you know me, you already know what this one is. Good old Nude Dip. Honey child, can't even begin to tell you all the ways that I love this eyeshadow palette. It looks so simple, but it does so much on the eyes. And it's one of my favorite palettes to travel with, love on. It's one of my favorite palettes of all of my palettes that I have. All right, getting into some Char Girl. We got a lot to go through. So, Pillow Talk. I could declutter this one. I could. So I will. Nothing's bad with it, but I'm just looking at it and I feel no attachment to it, so I can get rid of that. Then we have the Vintage Vamp. I'm gonna declutter this one too. Same thing, nothing's wrong with the formula, just it's not calling to me. Golden Goddess I like this one a lot. It's another one of those palettes that looks kind of simple, like it's not gonna do much, but it's beautiful on the eyes. It really makes the eyes pop. This is the Hollywood Flawless Eye Filter. Yeah, definitely gonna declutter this one. This formula did not do it for me at all. Desert Haze. This formula is amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it. This is a really great formulated matte eyeshadow quad. The Rebel, oh, this is pretty. Oh, it's pretty, it's pretty. Oh, yes, most definitely keeping. And then Walk of No Shame. I can let Walk of No Shame go. I really can. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it. And then we have another Hollywood Flawless Filter one. Definitely decluttering this. Didn't do anything for me at all. And then my most favorite Charlotte Tilbury, Queen of Glow. This eyeshadow palette, honey child. Another one of like my top favorite eyeshadow palettes ever. Love it. Okay, we got rid of a lot of the Chargirl palettes. I was not expecting that, but you know, we're trying to do better. Okay, so now we're getting into all Pat McGrath quads. Here we go. So this one is called Voyeuristic Vixen, and I could declutter this one, but I'm not, because I feel like I can use this for comparisons. Then we've got Eternal Eden. Oh, definitely one of my favorites. Probably is my most favorite quad by Pat McGrath. Loved that one. I still do. Then we have Risque Rose. I could easily declutter this one, and I think I will. It doesn't call to me anymore. Interstellar Icon. I like this one. I'm gonna keep this one because she's really cute. I forgot what the name of this one was, but I'm most definitely keeping it because I love this one. Deep Space Divinity. I could declutter this. Plus, I'm upset that the pans are smaller. So decluttering this one. Forgot the name of this one, but oh, this was the Ritualistic Rose. Is that what this was? I think this is Ritualistic Rose. Yes. This is definitely one of my favorites too. I beat the mess up out of this one. Oh, I gotta reach for that one soon. And Bronze Borealis. I could declutter this too. I really could. So I am. I didn't really care for them too much. Nothing's wrong with the formula. It was just like, it didn't do much for me. Flora Fantasia. This is pretty. I'm gonna keep this one. This is pretty. All right, y'all, look at us making progress, okay? We've got Suku. These are all Suku eyeshadow palettes. So this is 102. Oh yes, this is pretty. Keeping. This is 136. This is pretty. It is. All right, keeping it. 105. I can declutter this one. It's beautiful, but I can declutter. 110. Oh, I like this one. Keeping this one. And 107. Yeah, Declutterville. She goes. 109. Oh, I think I want to keep this one. Isn't this kind of like mysterious, unique, a little dark? Keeping. 104. Oh, this is pretty. This is pretty. I'm gonna keep this one. And then lastly, 103. Yes, keeping this one. Love this whole color story. Okay, what are these in the back? Oh, these are eyeshadows from Lethal Cosmetics that I never used. So let me see if I can get the names of them. So this is the shade called Nymph, Pilgrim, Symbiosis, and this is Euphoria. So I need to get, actually, here it is. So Lethal Cosmetics sent me this, or they asked me to create like my own version of an eyeshadow palette with them based off of shades that they already have. And I never shared the palette with you guys. I mean, as you can see, they're still packaged up. So most definitely keeping this because I do want to share the eyeshadows with you. The singles that I just showed you, I was sent these from Camera Ready Cosmetics. So I need to use these because I've heard that their eyeshadow formula is really great. And people who love them really love them. So I'm gonna quickly show you the shades that I picked out. So, Equinox, Frantic, Catonic, Lithium, Defiance, Corrosion. This is Aether, Equilibrium, Transmutation, Symbiosis again, Delirium, and Hollow. So I'm most definitely going to put those shades in a palette and share them with you all. And lastly, I think these are the last two ones. These are eyeshadow singles by Cosette, and it's their Crystal Cream formula. This green shade is Elusive. Do y'all see? Like, I am keeping these because the shifts in these remind me of like Danessa, Myricks, Pat McGrath type of shades. Like, look at it. Look at it. So definitely keeping these. Like I just said, I don't do singles, but these are worth keeping. And then this blue shade is called Spirit. I mean, come on. Come on. Look at her. Amazing. All right, guys, let's see what we're keeping and what we're getting rid of. Okay, so I wasn't expecting that this would be a successful declutter, in that I really do like a lot of the eyeshadow palettes that we went over today. But this is what I'm decluttering. This little pile right here. And I did decide that I'm gonna declutter the Club Nebula palette. I have had this for well over a year, haven't even reached for it, and I don't think I'm gonna reach for it, so we'll put that there. So guys, that is the end of this massive eyeshadow palette declutter. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned because we're still not done yet. I know, we're still not done, but I really hope to see you in my very next video. Bye guys.